Welcome back, guys, to the Not So Subtle Podcast. The only podcast about geek and nerd culture and pop culture and games and movies.
The only
one.
There's literally not any more than ours. This is the only podcast ever.
I verified that this week, actually.
You don't look up anything else on iTunes besides Not So Subtle. Mm-hmm. It's the only thing on there.
No, yeah, I typed in a bunch. I went to go listen to stuff I usually listen to, and it just wasn't there. Because I realized there was no contest. It was the only thing.
I'm going to be your host today, Coulter Potter. Joining me is Dane LaPointe. How's it going?
You know, I'm alright.
Thanks.
I wore 2 different socks today.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that true?
I did.
Like 2 different colored ones?
A completely different pattern. There was like a black one with some gray stripes, and there was one with like an Argyle style look to it. And there were also different material thickness.
Did that not bother you?
One it did.
Burlap.
It did. One was burlap, and
one
the other
was made out of Shrek's vest.
You're a quirky man.
We have a little bit of Shrek with me at all times. No, I would not recommend it. I just felt like at all times neither foot was as comfortable as the other, so I kept noticing one or the other.
You didn't do anything to alleviate the problem.
No, I mean I did laundry, but like those were the only socks I found really quickly, and I was like, I'll just wear these.
The other person joining me today is Jordan Miller.
Hi.
How's it going?
It's going all right.
Did you wear normal socks today?
I wear normal
Are you a normal
socks
person?
every day.
Or are you quirky?
Okay.
I am, in fact, still wearing socks that I wore to work. They're very long.
He's pulling them up.
Those are
guys.
at least 10
For the
feet
audio
long.
listeners, this is what's happening.
They're very long socks.
So yeah, on this podcast we talk about video games, movies, TV, all that stuff. So we also, get down and dirty with our lives and
and each
just
other.
Relatable stuff. And on that note, we're going to be talking about nerdy stuff, but we always like to start out with a little bit of something relatable, something for the kids, something that
the families out there can listen to.
Yeah,
Something that old Graham can listen to.
And the little baby boy straight out the womb will have something to say about this.
He comes out rocking those AirPods, that iPhone 7, listening to some podcasts.
No cords.
No cords besides his umbilical.
Not even that. Cut him off.
Cut him
all
out.
the cords. Cut him off.
He's going cordless, boys.
So the first topic is going to be, what is a memorable or first concert experience that you guys have had?
I'm going to need a while to think about this one because I have a lot to talk about. So
You've been to a lot of
concerts.
concerts.
Go first.
We were talking before, and Jordan has been to apparently only one concert.
Yeah.
Can you just say that one concert?
Yeah.
Juicy J.
Juicy J. I mean, that's really the only one you'll probably ever need to go to.
And might I say, it was lit.
Okay.
Was it a lituation?
Was it just him, or?
I'll be honest, I don't know who opened for him.
But someone
someone
or something did.
Someone certainly did. I don't remember their name. I just remember Juicy J because he was killing it.
He's all right. I think he's died off.
I don't know any Juicy J, really.
Yeah.
I honestly couldn't name a lot of Juicy J. Honestly, my favorite song from Juicy J is not even... It might be from him, actually, but it's with The Weeknd.
Was The Weeknd there?
No. God, no.
I assume not.
You think The Weeknd was going to be there? No.
I'm going to go on record right now and I say I hate The Weeknd.
Well, that's a bold claim.
Bold claim.
What's wrong with The Weeknd? He has a lovely voice.
Wait, hold up. We have a long-running segment of the show that we have not yet introduced.
Wait,
and it's called...
A long-running segment that we've never had.
Yes, a long-discussed segment.
That's true.
That has not yet made its way onto the podcast, and that segment is called... Take it away.
Dane's bold claim.
All right.
And I think we just had our first one. I mean, I don't want to steal your thunder, Jordan. You can...
I mean, you already did by saying The Weeknd was trash.
I'm sorry. I mean, it's true, but...
was trash.
That's not true.
It is.
He's not.
What?
I was repeating what Dane said.
He's not
I
trash.
don't think that.
I just can't listen to him, man.
He has a very high voice. Some people don't like high voice.
It's not even that. It's just like...
If it's not that, then there are no other issues.
It's not his voice. His voice is not bad, but it's also, to me, not good.
It doesn't have a lot of weight to it. It's a little light.
It just kind of floats around me, and I just kind of listen to it. I'm like, that's a voice, and
it is kind of crazy.
It's not that good.
It's a little crazy that he like can sing that high, like
for prolonged periods of time.
Yeah, and that's like his only singing voice. He doesn't like go down like too. He doesn't have a huge vocal range. It's just
That's the
all
thing.
in the high frequencies.
Yeah, and like, man, people always say like, "Oh man, I love how he basically raps, but in a sing-song style." And he's like talking about like, yeah, I got that pussy, blah blah, like took all these drugs and whatever it is, but like.
You're severely overgeneralizing like what the Weeknd actually sings about, which are way more interesting things.
I mean,
but
the only thing
you haven't listened to him that much.
The only thing he sings about nowadays is just getting fucked up at parties and doing like Molly and shit. Like,
yeah,
it's just
that old classic Weeknd song. I get fucked up at parties and do Molly.
I mean,
very classic one.
What is what I can't feel my face when I'm with you? Isn't that about doing cocaine?
I mean, you listed off a radio hit, which is
all he is now.
Okay.
He's a sellout.
You win.
He's a sellout. I don't like his voice. I think he's overrated.
And that's your bold claim
And this
of
has
the
been
week.
Dane's bold claim.
That's my bold claim.
Now, I'll go ahead and say my first concert experience was Rush. Have you guys seen...
Slapping the bass.
Why was I about to ask Jordan if he's seen Rush?
Have I seen or have I listened to Rush?
Have you listened to Rush?
No, I only know the song from I Love You, or not even the song, but the I Love You Man joke where he goes slapping the bass.
Yeah, slap it a bass.
It's great.
I think that's Tom Sawyer.
I don't know that bit.
The most...
What?
I haven't seen I Love You Man.
Yes, you have.
You've heard slap it a bass though, right?
I've heard it, but I don't know what it refers to. Mm-hmm. I've never seen I've never seen I Love You Man.
Jason Segel.
And and Paul Rudd, right?
Yeah, Paul Rudd, I think.
Those two are pretty good together.
They're funny.
Pretty funny.
There's been many like Rush references in movies as like oh, this is the best band on earth because like there's enough nerds
they're pretty good.
They're old. They're old.
They're old.
That are like, big fans of Rush to get those jokes. But, yeah, no, it was fun. They're really
Where
talented.
was this?
It was at the White River Amphitheater, which is now a nightmare. I wouldn't really go back there because the parking situation is just trash.
We've been there for a
rock show.
We'll say that.
Nickelback.
I don't think we went there for Nickelback.
We did.
Did we?
Yeah.
The truth comes out.
We stayed at your grandparents', I'm pretty sure.
That was for the Clark County Amphitheater.
Oh, is that not White River?
No.
Oh.
Clark County is a different amphitheater.
Oh, never mind.
It's in a completely different county. It's in Clark.
But I could have sworn we...
Clark. It's in
County.
Clark, which is why we hate
It's
it.
in Clerks County.
Terrible.
Yeah, never mind.
Anyways, that leads nicely into another section. Are we going to talk about that, facet of our childhood?
About Nickelback?
Yeah, I mean,
there's no avoiding it.
I mean, I don't think it's fair to the viewers and listeners to not mention that you guys have been to like multiple Nickelback concerts.
2.
Yeah, so don't turn off the podcast, anyone listening.
Don't worry, we're not playing
We're
Nickelback
going to get into
here.
some video game topics, but for the meantime, we're going to talk about how much we love Nickelback. No, just kidding. We don't love...
How much it had a profound impact on our lives?
Yeah, no.
If
but
any
yeah, we
person
did go
says
to...
that not in jest, they need to burn. If you think Nickelback profoundly impacted your life,
that's
Jordan's
bold claim. That's Jordan's bold claim.
Jordan's bold claim, because that's not very fair.
what?
That's...
No one in their right mind says, you know what? If no one has ever said seriously, yeah, man, that Nickelback song, it actually like kind of affected me in a really deep way.
I mean,
one's ever
they
Except for
sing
me.
like slow songs that like... They sing Photograph, the best song of all time. No, just kidding. But
every time I look,
Photograph is like, yeah, he's like looking back on his old life. It's for like white, like middle class Americans, yes, but it's something that can be related to.
It's a step down from Jimmy Buffett, and you wouldn't quite listen to it at a casino, but you could listen to it like having a BBQ with your other middle-aged friends who are all white.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna necessarily change Jordan's view on this, but yeah, we did enjoy Nickelback at one point in time. I'm not going to say anything about what we think about them now, but let's just leave it at we enjoyed them a lot at the time. We had some fun times at these concerts.
I mean...
Okay, so barring Nickelback, there was a show that we went to that was Breaking Benjamin,
I was about to say that.
Shine Down, Sick Puppies, and was there one other?
I think that might have been it.
Yeah.
At the
it was
Tacoma Dome, I think.
Yeah, it was like a super lineup of all the best acts at the time.
Was Nickelback headlining that concert?
Yes.
Yeah.
Boy.
I think you
Yeah.
underestimate the amount of fans of Nickelback. And I guarantee
I understand the popularity.
I think
of
it was
Nickelback.
sold out.
I don't know.
Because
Hard
this is
data
the
to back that.
thing. Recently, I think we were. What were we doing? We must have been playing something or like in the car, and we heard a Shinedown song.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember. It was like the Butterfly one.
Yeah.
Or something like that. And then I started thinking like, oh man, there's some pretty lit Shinedown songs, dude. So I looked them up
Shinedown
on
is lit.
Spotify, and then I found one of their like. I think their most popular live album and one of their most popular live songs, which is Simple Man, was actually recorded at that concert we went to. So we actually saw like a near, I don't know if I would call Shinedown legendary, but for them, we saw one of their legendary live hits recorded live.
I'm not too familiar with Shinedown. Can you please sing the song to try and refresh my memory?
I don't think.
When I was young, my daddy told me.
That's a Leonard Skinner cover.
Yeah, no, I know, but
It might have been
It's a
better
great-
to just say
it's a great cover.
that first before.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, Shinedown is great.
Somewhere in the
Breaking Benjamin, obviously,
Okay.
Yeah.
amazing.
I'm a fan of Breaking Ben.
They were pretty good.
I still listen to their old stuff, and it's good.
I listen to
It's
Dear
real good.
Agony all the time.
Yeah.
It's great
I
stuff.
like that album.
Do you have any concert experiences you wanted to bring up, Dane?
There was one time where we both inexplicably ended up at a John Mayer concert.
Don't say inexplicably. Both you guys love John Mayer. You obviously
No,
made the
no, no.
decision to go there.
It was both of our moms.
Yeah,
were
it was
like-
both of our moms who mainly wanted
Which
to
is
go.
telling.
But we ended up there, and we were like, I was like, Coulter, dude, you're at a John Mayer concert too,
Oh,
bro?
so you guys didn't go together?
No.
No.
Okay.
No,
We
but I
went
think
separately
we
with our
must have.
moms,
We
right?
must
Did
have.
you go with your mom?
Yeah, we must have known that we were gonna, or maybe not. I don't even know. I saw you there, like walking into
I
the.
think like. Oh, really? You saw me there?
Yeah,
I
we
think
talked there, I'm
we
pretty sure.
talked, or we said something like right before the show. It's like, oh, I'm gonna go to the John Mayer concert, and you're like, I'm
wait,
also going.
I am too. Wait, you can't go there, dude. I hope you're not gonna wear the same shirt there, dude.
You're probably like, yeah, I'm going to the Nickelback concert because I definitely don't listen to John Mayer.
By the way,
And
the
then you
Nickelback
both-
stuff was when we were in junior high, like late elementary.
When we were
right?
impressionable youth.
Yeah.
Impressionable youth.
This was not like last year.
It was yesterday.
Yeah, so John Mayer is awesome. I really do like John Mayer. Judge me, hate me. Let's get some fan mail about how you hate John Mayer because he's lit.
That's hate mail.
Yeah,
It's a technicality. Carry on.
whatever. Yeah, so John Mayer. I've seen Red Hot Chili Peppers twice now. Both times, very good.
Yeah,
Red Hot
It's
Chili
left a
Peppers are
mark
great.
on me. They're really good. And this
that's
most
one
recent
band
time,
that we can all agree on.
Yeah, this most
Breaking
recent
Benjamin.
concert, it was after the release of their most recent album that Coulter hates, and they played hardly any of their new stuff and played a lot of their old hits, and it was a pleasant surprise.
That's telling.
It was a pleasant surprise because they didn't play any of the new shit.
It was. I mean, I like the new stuff, but
Would you say the old stuff is much better?
yes,
Yeah,
This is correct.
yes,
that is the right answer.
and I can recognize that. But
If
yeah,
anyone from the Red Hot Chili Peppers somehow views this, I love your music. You're probably my favorite band, and just connect with Rick Rubin and John Frusciante again, and then maybe we'll talk.
yeah. I mean, I understand.
If you want to send us some signed albums, shirts, socks.
Socks.
Yeah, I could use. I mean, clearly, as illustrated in the beginning of this podcast, I could use a few pairs of socks.
Shout out to all the pair.
Shout out to pairs of socks.
I feel like if someone's gonna, actually, all you listeners out there, if you want to donate some socks, make sure they're in pairs so that I can match. I'd appreciate it.
send in unmatched pairs of socks just to rile them up a little bit.
So
that would push me over the edge.
I think it's time to move on to our next topic, which is our movie section.
Yes.
And
I'm excited for this.
something new in movies this week was the Alien Covenant movie.
The Covenant of
movie.
Aliens.
Cue muted applause.
Yeah.
Yay! Alien.
So yeah, we all saw this movie, and
Together.
yeah, did we all see? Or by the way, we saw it in Dolby AMC, like
Digital.
special theater. I mean,
We saw it in the
with
Dolby.
recliners.
We saw it with reclining
We saw it in the
chairs.
Dolby Digital $20. Just take out your wallet, light it on fire, and throw it in the toilet.
Do you guys
right now.
think that one was worth it? I feel like the Dolby in the Alderwood theater we went to wasn't great. Like,
it wasn't as good as the Woodinville.
like that one, I can feel like the bass thumping in that one. It feels like I'm sitting on a speaker. The one we watched felt like I got robbed of like an extra like $5 for watching it.
Yeah, I do feel like the
Also, they didn't recline as far.
that
that was
particular
a thing
theater did not feel as good as feel or look or sound as good as the
Supposedly,
the
if you guys don't know, the Dolby like theaters have great sound, allegedly, and do they have better like contrast and picture quality?
It's supposed to have better, so it's supposed to have like richer colors, deeper blacks, like whiter whites.
Deeper blacks really came into play in Get Out when we saw that.
Oh, that's not okay.
But it did actually.
I mean, I'm not saying anything bad.
It did because when he's in the sunken place,
It's truly a dark place down there.
it is.
But anyways, Alien Covenant.
Yeah. So we all saw Prometheus, right? Is that correct?
I'll be honest, I
Oh, you
never
didn't?
saw
I
Prometheus,
have seen
which might
Prometheus.
explain my not enthusiastic view of this movie when I saw it.
So go ahead and say right off the bat what your overall take on this movie.
I didn't think it was awesome. After seeing Alien and Aliens, I was excited for another Alien movie. This one, not quite the same thing, and I was kind of very disappointed by it.
Interesting. Yeah.
Let's hang in this silence for a second. Just...
Let's just bask.
I mean,
in it.
did you guys think it was a great movie?
No.
No, I've talked about this with my coworkers a little bit. I've come to the conclusion that I definitely have some problems with the pacing
Yeah.
and the writing. And
Pretty bad.
pretty much every character.
Okay, first, the character in that movie is just a
captain.
well, the captain is a terrible character. The, like, knockoff Ripley is, like, why? Just, like, make a new character. You don't need to keep making, like...
Strong
why does she
female
need to... No,
heroine.
make a strong female character, but, like, she's, like, such, like, clear, like, trying to impersonate Ripley and be that same character that just came off as so forced.
Yeah, that's true.
I didn't want her to be the heroine at all. She was a bad character. Like, all the characters in that movie are bad. I'll say that right now.
Man.
Except Michael Fassbender is all right, but
I think Michael Fassbender definitely carried that movie.
he did.
One, because can we go into spoilers with this one?
Light spoilers.
Should
Light
we?
spoilers.
I mean, sure.
I feel like
I think what you're gonna say is Michael Fassbender kisses himself in that movie, which is what everyone wanted to hear.
he does.
It's a bit of a spoiler, but
Which is, I'm okay with that, but I just, I don't know. I can't say it without spoiling it. I won't say it, but
Okay.
I had a lot of issues with his character.
Yeah, the main villain in that movie, which I assume if you've seen Prometheus, you probably are not going to be surprised by what's happening in there. I hadn't seen Prometheus, so I mean, the tells are very telling in this movie. There's no surprise twist. Like, you see it coming from
It's
7
very
miles
predictable.
away. It's
Yeah.
it really is. And I hate like the storyline of that movie and the way that like the alien is like created and becomes this like super like ridiculous beast is like, that's not how I wanted that monster to be created, by like some like mad scientist. Like, it's so generic.
So
the villain has such a chance to be a good character, and then he's just like, but actually I just want to create the perfect monster,
the perfect
like,
organism.
oh, you're just a mad scientist. That's great. Good job.
I feel like something about so I don't need to see. I don't like how these are the origin story of like the alien, or at least I don't like that it's the origin story in this way.
I don't need to see that.
That's the thing, because I feel like one of the cool parts about Alien and Aliens is that like these things, or this in Alien, this thing is just like
It's just an alien.
It's just a ridiculous, like, it's alien. It's so, the name is so simple, alien. It's just an alien. It's some sort of strange life form that like no one understands or can comprehend. It has no like discernible purpose or anything like that. All it does is just kill, like indiscriminately just kill people, and is just this unstoppable killing machine. And like I don't need to see a like.
I don't need
to see a 3-movie prequel series about how this thing was created.
I don't need to see its backstory. I don't need to see its tragic origin story. And like, I don't want to feel anything about the alien. It's just the monster to kill and be like scary.
And there's also something great. Yeah, there's also something great about just seeing the alien, especially in Alien 1. How it's just at one point in the movie, it just reveals, like, you see, like, the first time you see it in full, you're like, wow, that's fucked up. Like, that thing is weird, but you don't understand it, nor should you, because there's no need to. You understand that it's there to kill, and that's it. Like,
I think this movie could be compared a little bit to the prequels in some ways, the Star Wars prequels, because they kind of try to do a more complicated and like different thing with it.
Yeah.
When the original was good because of its simplicity.
Yeah.
And it even kind of like shares some of the same, like, okay, like the visuals are very good, like in this new movie and stuff like that.
They're really good.
Yeah, but it's just like not the same feeling. And it's possible to do themes like this pretty well, and I appreciate the effort to like make it into more of a heady theme and like, you know, play with those types of stuff, but it just didn't come off as well as it should have.
I also got very upset in that movie because it, like, for a movie like Alien, which is like usually really smart, like Alien and Aliens is like a smart movie. The characters like usually don't do really dumb stuff and like get themselves trapped, and like it's relatively like serious and not just like, oh, they did the thing, they split up. Every fucking time in this movie something bad is about to happen, like, we should probably split up. Hey, do you want to go down the dark hallway and follow the villain? I don't, sure, I guess I will. Hey, do you want to just sit here by yourself and wait for the alien to kill you? Hey, do you want to miss every single shot with your gun and blow up a goddamn ship for 5 minutes? Yes, go ahead and do it.
Yeah, it's just like, I'm gonna go wash my hair. Okay, don't stray too far. I won't. You go into her room, the alien's there. Well, bye.
Like,
I felt no confidence in any character.
Yeah, because they always made the wrong choice. It was the worst.
And
they're all
that's
terrible.
For the
like,
main character, but it was like, all right, well, she's not gonna die.
Yeah.
And the writing was so bad that like you're not invested in any of these characters. So when they get into these situations, you don't think like, oh no, man, like don't go in there. You really just think, okay, he's going there, he's gonna die. We're gonna move on to like, you know, space soldier like number 5, who's also gonna get killed by this.
I get the parts where they're trying to like call back to like the original Alien films, because there's one scene kind of where they do the. This scene is in Alien and Aliens, I think, where they kind of look at the pod of like the baby like face hugger thing, and
then it jumps out.
Yeah, but like, come on, man! Like, at least don't look into the alien pod. It's so simple.
The problem I had with that scene is like minutes, not even minutes, like maybe a minute before that scene, he's like, man, you're kind of sketchy, bro. Like, why you being so weird? And then he's like, come with me, I have something to show you. And you go down there, like the dark hallway thing, like into the basement. And he's like, what are you doing down here, pal? He's like, well, I'm building aliens. And then he's like, I'm building life. He's like, oh, that's odd. And then he's like, yeah, you want to see? He's like, yeah, sure. And he goes in, he looks in the pod, and then you're like, well,
he literally says, like, there's something to see.
He's just like, oh, you're right. Let me look. And then you get your face.
He's like, well, I am curious.
Dude, I was
he pulls Leonardo DiCaprio. He's like, first you had my interest, but now you have my curiosity.
That was just the dumbest thing. Like, when I saw him going in for that, I just wanted to facepalm so hard in the movie.
You wanted to face hug. With your hand.
That was good.
You wanted to just straight on your face.
Pretty much. It was really dumb. Now, I don't want to be all negative on this movie, because there are aspects of it that I really liked. I thought the cinematography was really good.
There's some cool shots in
there.
It looks very nice.
Yeah. It looks very, very good. I do have some problems with the CGI.
Yeah.
But I like the design of the neomorphs, the little baby, like, white aliens.
They're fine. I could do without them. I just want the alien.
They're pretty much just bare bones aliens.
They are
like what they are.
The first scene in the med bay, when you see, like, when they get locked in the quarantine, then she's like, I don't know what to do, leading up until she slips with the shotgun on the blood or whatever. Like, that whole sequence I thought was really good. I was definitely stressed.
That was the most tensious. There's definitely a word, tense.
Yeah,
that's a word.
Tensious.
You got there.
That was the most tensious scene in the movie.
Yeah, and like, I really liked the music for the most part. I thought was good, especially in that scene. It was really good at ramping up like tension and raising your blood pressure a little bit. And then there's a shower scene at the end that I enjoyed.
Yeah, I mean that one was very like been there, done that. I feel like
There was
nothing new there.
It wasn't really new. I just kind of liked the...
Yeah, I have to say,
there's something about it, though.
Almost none of, like, I didn't feel hardly anything during that movie. Like, not like, it's supposed to be a horror movie.
A Day in the Life of Jordan Miller.
Yeah, you can just end it there. You don't need to say during this movie.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't do anything. Like, I didn't get scared at all. It was supposed to be a horror movie, and every time they were about to, like, try to ramp up the terror, they just dumb it down and do something just so silly. I'm just like, well, of course he did that, because the movie has to go on, but...
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. If you're a fan of the original Aliens, I don't think you, like, will find this movie that... You will be disappointed by this movie if you go in expecting it to be like the original Alien films.
But I feel like if you go in expecting it to be like Prometheus... If you like Prometheus, I think you'll like this movie.
I didn't see Prometheus, which maybe impacted that somewhat, but also I feel like it didn't
in the sense
have
that,
much
like,
to do with Prometheus besides, like, the alien creation.
Yeah, there was something about Prometheus that was... Like, even Prometheus, that's why a lot of people didn't like it, because it felt completely different than... First, it didn't have any xenomorphs that I remember. Wait.
At the very, very end.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because that was the whole thing with Prometheus, right? It's like, at the end, people were like, oh, it's the prequel to Alien.
Yeah, because they said it wasn't.
Yeah. And then they're like,
I'm
gotcha.
pretty sure they said it was, like...
Well, I realized that it was the prequel to Aliens once they
but...
see that ship, the circular ship, because you see that it crashed in the first sequence in Alien. But, yeah.
They might have said, like, there's not going to be an alien in it. And then there was.
That's true.
And then there is.
Here's an interesting question. If you guys were in a situation like this, if you were in an alien movie, how long do you think you would survive?
It depends. Do I have
the ability... Am I a short-haired female?
Yeah.
Am I the Ripley knockoff, or am I just another shitty character?
I mean, this wouldn't be an interesting conversation if I said you were either one, because then that would be the end of the story.
And welcome to Alien Covenant.
You are who you are.
So. Yeah, I think, you're in every... I mean, you're an everyman.
It depends on how often I goof like they do and just, like, slip on shit and miss my shots and follow creepy men into dark hallways. Like, if I'm smarter than that...
Let's say you wouldn't do any of that.
Then I'm making it to the end of the movie.
Like, how would you fight the alien?
Shoot it.
You'd shoot that son of a gun, or you launch him out of space.
I feel like we would, like, train harder and, like, be more careful.
That was the other thing that made me very upset, is that all those people are trained, like, professional military men.
And they kind of suck.
And they just blow everything.
They all just get... Like,
they're just bumbling idiots the whole movie.
They all get decimated in that first scene, like, after the med bay, where it's like, oh no, he's coming back, and then the alien just, like, rips through, like, 6 people. Like, just the little baby alien.
Like, the silliness of what the people do in that movie killed it for me, because it's just so many just bad things happen that made me upset. But it was very pretty. That's what I'll give it.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a pretty out of 10.
On the surface level, it was good. Like, music, special effects, for the most part, I thought were pretty decent. I do kind of... I take
umbrage with the fact that the alien was CGI.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm not really okay with them moving away from practical effects.
Yeah.
It's mostly only because they had the alien doing much more ridiculous things in this one, like jumping on a spaceship and flying around with it.
Yeah,
like,
and it's not that the CGI was bad, it's just that it looked so good in the original Alien, like, movies. Even now, like, that alien looks really good.
Oh, it looks amazing.
To kind of just cop out a little bit and go CGI just to make it a little bit more, like, ridiculous and crazy, it seems
I feel like they did CGI in Aliens because they had so many aliens in there. Or maybe... No... They must have had some element of CGI in there, and that looked pretty decent. And that was in the 80s.
I will not stand by the fact that the CGI, if there is CGI in Aliens,
no, I think I think it
good.
Aids the practical effects. I don't think the aliens are entirely CGI.
It has been a while since I've seen Aliens.
Yeah, same. But anywho's.
All right. Well, should we do our second movie topic, or should we do games first? You think?
We can talk some games.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do some games.
Relatively quick.
Let's break it up, because our big topics are probably the movie things. So
yeah.
Moving into game, not news really, but what have we been playing? Like, what do you guys have been playing?
What have you been playing, Dane?
I haven't had a lot of time to play video games recently.
Coulter?
No, I mean Players Unknowns or Player Unknowns. Battlegrounds.
So do I call it a Plunkbat? Player, PL, unknown, UNK.
I like that. Plunkbat.
Battle
what about PUBG?
Pubga, and I like Plunkbat.
Plunkbat. Okay. Well, I've been playing a lot of Plunkbat. We've been playing a lot of Plunkbat. You've probably been playing more than I have.
play a lot of Plunkbat.
We had a pretty interesting few matches the other night.
Yeah, normally, so I play a lot solo, which is a completely different game. Like, it is very, very intense and like kind of like horror game like when you're solo, because you're like sneaking around and people are like trying to sneak up on you, and it's very different when you don't have anyone to talk to. Duos kind of get that same effect. Like when Dane and I play duos a lot, and that's still fun. The tenseness is kind of broken down a little bit because you can goof around as such. And
but then, it is tense when you all we have is each other in a room, and then we're like, oh god, was that you?
When you have to get serious, it gets real intense. And then Dane and I, for like the first time, there's a squads mode in there where you can group up to like 4+ people, maybe. I think 4 is the max. Dane and I did that once, but it was with 2 random people or 3 random people, and it was bad. Because,
it wasn't great.
Because you're grouping with a bunch of random people, and they're terrible, and a lot of them are racist.
A lot of them are people on the internet,
they use a lot of slurs. And
are anonymous internet.
It wasn't a great time, but just recently played with a couple friends, and that was pretty fun, actually.
It was really
4
fun.
people, like, trying to survive against another, like, 25 groups of 4. It's a challenge.
It was really fun.
It was.
And it was much different, too. It was a different game.
Yeah, you kind of, like... Because when you're playing, like, by yourself with 2 people, you can, like, sneak around and kind of, like, just be very stealthy, and, like, you're super cautious. When you have 4 people, shit just goes out the window, and you're just running around, like, trying to get in jeeps and, like, drive cars. Like, there was one time where at the end, we were just in a jeep, and, like, there were, like, 4 other cars that converged on us, which never happens. Like, you never see more than 1 car at a time when you're playing duos or single. And so this time, it was just Mad Max Fury Road, and we're just in a jeep and just, like, T-bone a car and, like, flip through the air. Like, the physics are broken horribly, but yeah, it was really crazy.
Yeah, there were some crazy moments, like, we were driving down the road, and then our friend who was driving just decided to veer off out of the field and drive into a group of people and run down 2 people and just pin them to the front of our car.
Just mowed them down.
Yeah.
And then when you're in grouped up, you don't die instantly when you get when you lose your health. You go into down state, so you can get revived. Because of that, we drove forward past them after we downed them, turned around, and then just ran them over again to finish them off.
Because they were like crawling across the road to the tree where their friends were hanging out, and they were taking pot shots at us, and then we're like, we gotta kill them. So we just run them down the middle of the road and kill them again. Yeah. And then I think I had my first, like, real, like, the most adrenaline pumping moment in that game probably was one of those matches where we all, how did it happen? We all died. Oh, we all died in 2 buildings, except for me. We got, like, ambushed in this building where just everyone for some reason was converging, and then I walked a lonely road, the only road I'd ever known.
It was only you and your shadow.
Yeah, it was me and my shadow, and a shit ton of ammo for my scar and my, I think I had like a shotgun maybe, yeah, something like that. But I ended up in a standoff against like probably 8 other people, like 7.
Yeah, it was like in the crossfire between 2 other teams, so there's probably about 7 or 8 people there.
Yeah, and then I ended up just going full John Wick and facing off against these guys in the middle of a field with all I had was just like this tree in front of me, so I was just kind of like moving and circling around this tree as people were taking pot shots at each other, just picking them off. And one might say I went in.
You got a lot of kills.
I killed like 6 or 7 people there, just decimated people, and it was
fascinating to watch from spectator, because like you just see Dane, he's just hiding behind a tree, and it's like, oh, one of these guys has to see him from over here.
Yeah.
Like, no one was aware of where Dane was. He was just like a ghost, just picking them off, just like from the hill.
Yeah,
what is happening right now?
Because people were running down the hill, and I'm just like, okay, I'll take this guy, and then I move like just behind the tree at another angle as the guys are getting out of the car, and I take one guy out and move to the other side of the tree, and was like just going full like Jason Bourne, like Gillies in the Mist style. Really fun.
That's always the best in like Call of Duty and stuff like that, when you can get like a kill feed where no one seems to know that you exist. And you just like run through an area and just gun people down.
And it's crazy in this one because you know that those guys are probably communicating with each other and like, where the fuck is this guy? Like, they're just getting picked off, and then it's
only in one spot.
Yeah, and it's
not moving.
It's extremely tense because you know that it takes like only a few shots to die in that game. And I was by myself. I didn't have time to heal. I didn't have anyone to like do cover fire or anything like that. It was just me like against the world. And
Squad is also really funny because there was another time where we're like hiding out in 2 houses, and we were kind of in a gunfight with some people like across the field, like looking at them, and then I just hear like for some reason people will talk in proximity chat, like in game chat, and you can hear them if you're close to you.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, wait, is this person talking right now? And I just hear some guy just like, there's 2 people inside this building. All right, I'm gonna go in like this side of the building, clear on the left side. Oh, they're to the west. I'm just like, does this guy know I can hear him? He's like right beneath me. And so I just hid in there. I was like, please just come up the staircase, you son of a gun. He did.
And he gunned him down.
I gunned him down.
He paid
the price. He paid the Pied Piper.
And there's something about, like, there was one part where we're with our friends, playing with one of the friends. And we ended up at the nuclear reactor, or the military base. And we were just rolling around, and like, we were pretty far away from people, like almost, we might have been out of the zone or on the edge of it, so we were extremely far away in the far,
it doesn't matter. We were very far away from the people. No, like, we're in a spot where we're like, oh, we got here so fast, and like, we're so far away from where everyone should be that there shouldn't be anyone here. We have to be alone.
Yeah, and we were just going through the airfield, and then I'm like, oh, I need to get some like ammo for my SCAR or whatever it was, and I walk into this building, I'm like, oh, this door's been opened. And then like it was so unlikely that someone was going to be there that you guys were like, oh yeah, okay.
No, Dane was like, I see a guy, or like, I think there's someone in here. I was like, I bet there is.
Yeah,
Dane,
and then all of a sudden just shut,
and
all of a sudden we just like, and the guy just like, I
just saw Dane shoot. I was like, oh, you weren't kidding. You weren't kidding at all. There's definitely people here.
Within a second, like, there was just a desperate, and then people converged on our position from there. Like a car pulls up,
pull out of the woodwork. Like when people hear gunshots, they just go.
They're just like, where are they?
And it just turns into
either you run from the gunshots, or you take it as an opportunity to go hunt some people down,
or you just go into them.
Yeah, and then in this case, people just decided to hunt us down.
Yeah,
so we had to fight for our lives on the outskirts. It was, man, that game is...
Can probably move on, but there was one moment where we're also playing. Me and our friend, I'm gonna dox him. We're playing with our friend Colin. We're the last 2 alive, and we're down to like, I think there was like 10 people left, so like that's about like 2.5-ish teams left. The circle that we're in is very small, and like I had seen 2 guys in front of us. There's like the circle is like getting ever smaller, and like, all right, Colin, we need to like kill these guys right here. And so we get them, we start running. One of them's still alive, shoots Colin from the back, and like the like death wall that comes in, like as the circle gets smaller, like the wall, like you can stay outside the zone for less and less time. And so I got the guy that got Colin. I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna revive you since you're down. And like I start reviving him, and it takes like 10 seconds, and the circle was closing in, and like at about 5 seconds I was like, oh, there's not enough time for you, I'm so sorry.
There's not enough time. And then you just run.
I just had to go. I just ran away, and then I ended up like in a like very tense confrontation. Like there was a small hill. I was on one side, there was one person on the other side, and then another group of people like on another far, like way further side. I was like, well, I'm just gonna get up and go for it, and of course I got gunned down horribly, but
but it's important to note that our last play session, and even the past few times we played, we have made it top 10 many times.
Yeah, that last one we got 3rd place, which is pretty good out of 25 teams, so there's 100 people, so
yeah, but like we're gonna get there.
It's just so close. It's very.
I really
close.
want to get this game, but I don't think I can.
It's an incredible game.
Yeah, it's one of the most fun games I've played this year, and I've played a lot of fun games this year, and this one is right up there.
Yeah, it's great.
Interesting.
Highly recommend it.
Yeah.
We also didn't explain at all what the game was for newcomers. But we're not going to.
Yeah, there's no need to.
It's Hunger Games with real people and real guns. Well, not real people, but it's realistic setting.
You get dropped into an environment, like a desolate, or like basically a ghost town, right?
Yeah,
and
Eastern European village scattered around, that kind of stuff.
You have to scavenge for weapons, and then you kill everyone you see. You try to be the last one, and there's like an area of gas or whatever. Is it gas?
So you have like your safe circle, and then outside the circle is just a blue wall of
death,
electricity or something.
Yeah.
It's not explained. There's no storyline in this game, but it just, if you get caught on the other side of the wall, you will take damage until you fall.
Yeah.
So basically, you're forced into closer proximity with 100 other people as the match goes on, and it makes for some of the most intense multiplayer gaming matches I've ever had.
It truly is.
And now you can go back and listen to that whole segment with that newfound information.
Don't worry, we're going to definitely cut that out and put that at the beginning of the segment.
No, I mean,
press your luck.
if you haven't heard of the game by now...
We've talked about it before, so...
Yeah.
We have talked about it, yeah.
Anyways, Coulter, I know you've been playing... You've been in the virtual realm.
I have, yeah.
You've been jacked in.
Locked away from society.
Mm-hmm. I've been playing a little bit of, miscellaneous games, but I have been playing a little bit more of Farpoint, which I reviewed last week.
Early impressions.
Yeah, so that was my, 1 hour impression, so that was very preemptive. I said there was, 2 enemies at the time, so now there are, I think, 4... Let me just think here. So there's a little like crab baby boys. There's little guys that shoot like.
I've heard of like the guys that lob stuff, and then I've also seen or heard of like the rolly, like they like charge towards you kind of or something.
Yeah. So there's small guys, medium guys, big guys is basically.
Is there going to be an extra big man coming?
That would be scary.
That would be frightening.
Yeah, the big guys I hadn't seen when I gave the first review, but yeah, they're like bigger dudes that don't actually take a ton to kill, but they can like protect themselves. So their main, they're like big spiders. So like their main point is like their teeth area, their gross like mouth, and they can use their little legs to
form a shield.
Yeah, shield you.
Are all the enemies bug?
Pretty much, yeah. It's basically what's that movie, Starship Troopers?
Yeah,
it's basically that.
Okay.
And the part I'm at, I literally just came upon a like medium-sized spider. So now there's like small spider, medium spider, big spider. So I mean, I can't say it's a high variety of different types of enemies, but they are more fun now. And I've gotten into parts where it's like a kind of an arena situation where there's like enemies being funneled into this, and I actually have to like run around and dodge.
Are the environments like kind of big enough for you to like move around?
Yeah, I was about to say like in relation to how you or how tall or how like you feel in VR as if you were that person, like how
in
does the
relation
environment...
to how tall are you, how big is the area?
Yeah, or like like being
ratio.
in the virtual world, like you get a certain sense of scale that may or may not be completely realistic. Like how do you feel in these environments? Like are they looming above you? Are you in like giant pretty skyboxes? Are you in like caves? Like what have you been seeing?
So it depends. Yeah, so there's some cave situations where you're going through like the mines of Moria,
as you do in most shooter games, at least at one point.
And it's kind of so there's like cavernous areas, and then there's bigger open areas with like no ceiling. And yeah, when you're in like an arena situation where there's enemies being funneled in, it's never been huge. It's always been like kind of medium-sized areas with like a fair amount of cover, but there's usually like rocks in the middle of like the arena. There's never just like a huge open expanse, because as I said like before, the AI is actually kind of good at hiding behind the little rocks. So yeah, it's been getting like a little bit harder, like a little more tense and more fun as a result. So I'm beginning to like it more. And also there is a new gun, like a shotgun that you can have. And the way you switch, which is a little bit interesting, is you put your gun as if you're switching it in your back. So you lift up the gun like over your shoulder.
That's neat.
They've had some stuff like that on Vive that I tried. That was pretty cool.
It's an interesting technique. It does get like a little bit cumbersome to just do that whenever you want to like switch guns, which is like all the time.
Okay.
And the shotgun, you have to press a button to reload, and then it automatically starts like reloading one by one faster and faster. So you have like 6 to 8 shots or something like that, and once you exhaust all those shots, or like before you exhaust all of them, like at any point you want, you hit square, and then it's like boop 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 boop, and then it's reloaded. Or you could stop it. You could just shoot your gun and start shooting before it's done reloading.
I feel like they miss an opportunity, and this is because they're using like the gun, like light gun thing. But like it would be cool if you could reload like the shells manually and like slide them in
That
without
could be cool.
the move controller or something. But whatever.
Yeah, I do think that there should be like both a way to do it physically, like holding it over your shoulder or whatever, and there should be a way to do it like with just a button. If
button
you want
press,
to.
I like the idea of like doing that like over the shoulder, because that's what it looks like in every game. Like in Halo, you're like, oh, swap guns. Let me pull it over my shoulder. It's like,
feels cool. Yeah. It feels cool for sure, and you don't have to do it like super far back. You
it's
can kind of just hold
like
it pretty much vertical, like up in the air, and then it'll switch. Yeah. So yeah, that's another fun part of it. I am not sucked into the story at all. I don't care about the characters.
Yeah, I have to imagine the story in that is not like
probably only serves to get you to the next arena to kill Bugman.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm having more fun with it. So
that's good.
How long do you think you've played so far? Like how many hours?
It's hard to say. Maybe honestly, I like kind of have to stop because I get like a headache after like an hour. Not like a severe one or anything. Like I could push through if I wanted to. But
are you getting motion sick, or is this like just like strain?
I feel like it's just
like eye strain.
I don't even know whether it's eye strain or whether it's just mentally taxing somehow. Like my brain isn't comfortable with it for like a long period of time. For whatever reason. It's hard to tell exactly what that comes from, but just after a certain amount of time I get a headache, like a mild one.
Now, this is a little bit of a stretch, so bear with me on this one, but do you think it's because your brain is realizing that you're placing yourself into another simulation when you're already in a simulation and what we conceive to be life?
It's already straining hard enough. The CPU is
and so it's basically like you're running two simulations over each other, and your brain is like, what would happen?
Double stimuli.
What would happen if you stayed in that simulation for too long?
Now,
would you be able to come back to this?
There's a simulation within that game.
I was gonna say, what if you're playing a VR game where you put on another headset, which is a thing?
Is that a thing?
Yeah, you do that in like Super Hot, I think.
Oh, really?
Some other stuff.
Oh, weird.
I really want to play Super Hot. I don't think they have it on
I
PSVR
missed
yet.
on Super Hot when it came out like last year, and I should definitely go play it because I've heard a lot of fun things about it.
Yeah, in VR especially, it looks awesome.
Yeah, it is a different thing though. The VR game is separate from the Super Hot PC. Actual game.
Yeah,
but
I think
seems
that's
cool.
Pretty much it for that.
Cool. Well, I think the question of the week is going to be. Do you think we live in a simulation?
Please send in your answers.
We have.
Oh, the question of the week for the viewers.
The question stands. The question stands.
We want to know your thoughts on the simulation.
Yeah. So
we want to know what you think about being controlled by the government, man.
I want to know what you guys think about our wacky film that we just watched.
Wacky film.
So, if you guys don't know, we made a list of movies that we all want to watch called the Wacky Film List. This list comprises approximately 50, I'm going to say closer to 50 films at this point.
Yeah, because we've knocked off about 15 now. So.
Yeah. So, and then we put them all on pieces of paper and then put them in a bag and we draw it out. We're going to draw one out at the end of this podcast. And this last podcast Dane drew out, Saving Private Ryan.
Oh yeah,
which I feel like we have all. Well, Dane saw it already, but we definitely heard of this movie before.
Yeah, I think this is one of those.
It's a big one.
It's a tentpole.
Directed by Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, it's.
Who is that?
I love this movie.
Somewhat famous director.
I was surprised that you guys hadn't seen it, and I felt like it needed to be remedied. Actually, Coulter, I think you brought up the idea of watching this.
I may have. Yeah, I think I just heard about it on some like podcast or some nerdy thing, and then I was like, oh,
like wow, I haven't seen that.
I need to see that.
Yeah,
and I stated before that I had seen parts of the movie, and as we got closer to watching the film, I started thinking in my head like, have I actually seen the movie, or did I just like think that I saw it? I haven't actually seen it. And then we watched the first 25 minutes, and I was like, yep, I've definitely seen this before because it made me feel terrible, and it just made me feel terrible again.
Yeah.
I also saw the very end of the film.
Okay.
I'm not going to spoil it, per se. We might, but...
So, I'll give my thoughts on it. I thought it was very good. Take it away, Jordan.
Next. Okay, I also thought it was very good. Dane?
Yeah, it's alright.
Okay, now let's actually...
I'm more of a fan of, like, diners, drive-ins, and dives. And,
I mean, I gave this movie 7 Fieris out of 10 because Guy Fieri wasn't actually in the movie, so that was an issue.
Still, that's pretty high.
There is a director's cut where they actually take a brief trip to Flavor
It's
Town.
called Saving Private Diners.
Saving Private Diners.
Have you guys heard of the movie Fieri?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think I need to say anything else.
Fieri.
Fieri
Guy Fieri is in that movie.
Yeah, that's actually was shot in Flavortown.
Do we
on location in Flavortown, Flavortown.
Before we go off on this tangent any further, I just want to end this tangent by saying, is there any movies that Guy Fieri is actually in? Can you guys think of one?
It's a good question.
Besides Shrek?
No. He's not. Is he in Shrek?
He is Shrek. He did the motion capture for Shrek.
He does look like an ogre.
I'm looking him up on IMDb.
Yeah, you do that.
Okay. Anyways, while we were doing that, Dane, what were your thoughts of this movie? You'd already seen it, obviously, but I mean,
I've seen this movie. This is probably my 3rd time seeing this movie, so I haven't seen it very many times. I watched this.
I mean, 3rd. I feel like seeing any movie more than once, you're kind of like, all right, yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
You're obviously a big fan of that movie.
That's fair. I mean, this is an amazing movie. I can go on record by saying that I think this has... no one does it like Spielberg. There's something there's so many good moments in this movie. The first 25 minutes, some of the most intense.
Physically stressful to me.
It's incredibly stressful to watch, it's so well shot and like, yeah, I don't know, man. I think that scene alone took like a month to shoot or something like that. Like,
It
there's
felt
just
like I
so
was
much
watching
work.
it for an hour. Like when that was over, we paused the movie because we're like, oh, let's get something to drink real quick. And then I was like, oh, dude, it's only been like we're at like minute marker 28. And I was like, no, there's no way. It felt so long. I felt like I was there.
So intense, man. I'm telling you, like,
We should set up the movie so people, if they haven't seen it, which shame on you if you haven't seen the movie, because you should have.
So basically,
I told you last week.
I think it is based off of a true story in some way. No,
Yes, it's based off the story of World War II. It's
okay,
a real
yes,
story.
but I mean, like, okay, yeah, it's a war film, but I think it is based off of like an actual family that had something like this happen. But basically, it retells about it starts on D-Day, 1944. Yeah, I think it was. Where, yeah, they're storming Normandy, and pretty quick into the movie, we find that 3 brothers, all from the same family.
The Ryans.
Obviously, the Ryans.
The titular
Or no, it's 4 of
characters.
them, I think.
Well, there are 4 Ryans, but 3 of them have.
Okay, yeah, that's what it was. And so 3 Ryans have been killed in action. Rest their souls. And 1 is still alive out there somewhere who parachuted in with the 101st Airborne somewhere in France, just who knows where. And their mom is about to receive 3 letters and like 3 like death certificates essentially for her kids, like on the same day. And so higher up, I think it's like the chief of staff, right, of the army.
They have to save Private Ryan.
Yeah, it's basically
They're gonna save him.
They have to go in and save him because it's real sad.
Because you can't have 4 dead sons.
No, and so yeah, and then there's this whole thread throughout the film where it's like, is it worth it to sacrifice people to save this one man? All
Which
stuff.
that's incredibly valid because
It is
I
valid.
just don't know if it was.
It is valid, but like
The whole movie is based on like, oh, we don't want to make his mom sad.
Yeah.
Is that more important than the
That's
lives
like-
of
that's
like
such a-
so many men?
A good through line through the movie, because like the first like opening scene in the movie when they get off like the water like boat vehicles,
yeah.
like the second the door opens, there's like, and like it doesn't start off like horribly intense. Like it starts off with the like a old man who goes to a cemetery, and then he has a kind of a flashback, and like, okay, well, they're on the boats, they're getting ready to storm the beach. And like I played like Call of Duty, and they have a D-Day invasion like mission on there, and I was like, okay, I've seen this before. Like I've seen this happen before, and like other
Yeah.
things. And then the gates open, and just like 20 people in front of them just die. It's like, oh my god, this is like start off crazy, and then it just doesn't stop from
dude,
there.
I think that is honestly one of probably the most intense thing I've ever seen on film. Like,
Yeah.
it's physically stressful. It's shot amazingly. Like the handheld camera movements, like in and out of the water. There's like, it feels like you're there on the beach.
Yeah, it has like a documentary kind of feel to it a little bit, like,
Yeah.
like behind the shoulder, it's like right there, and it's just very intense.
It's so good.
But yeah, there's also a good line where we're talking about how, so they want to save one person, and like their squad of about 8 people, and, like a couple of them die like throughout the movie, and
I think we're gonna discuss spoilers like straight up on this one.
we've told you guys to watch
This
it.
movie has been out. Yeah, first we said we were gonna watch this last podcast. It's been out since
I hate
1999.
saying, the argument of it's been out this long. Like that doesn't matter.
It's,
in my
yeah,
opinion.
I don't. That,
I think it
That
does.
argument maybe doesn't hold up, but I think the argument that we told you guys we're gonna watch this and
Yeah.
discuss it next time.
No.
That's a fair statement.
I think
Yeah.
it's fine to.
But yeah,
So spoilers.
So the main character, Forrest Gump, is inside this church talking.
We have to discuss that too.
Okay, Tom Hanks.
Yeah, It's
Could you divorce yourself from the idea that he
by
wasn't
the end
Forrest
of
Gump in that
the
movie?
the end of the movie I could.
Okay.
But like up until probably halfway through the movie, I just could not take it as seriously as if he
It's
had not
silly
played
because
Forrest Gump.
he's in Forrest Gump and he goes to like Vietnam or whatever, and like just like, oh, he was in a war also. Like,
Yeah.
did Forrest Gump somehow time travel to 1944? We don't know. But anyways, he's like talking to one of his like confidants, Mike. He's like, oh, the way I deal with it is if one of my men die, I think I could have saved 2 people because he died. I saved 10 people because he died. And then it's like,
And then he says, "Yeah, you know how
like
many
because I could
people-"
save, like, I'm gonna win the war. Like, that's how I'm gonna win it, by like saving these people. And it's like, but two of your people just died for one man. Like, how do you justify
Yeah.
that? How is that
Has that
worth
come
it?
true a single time? Like,
Yeah.
bad.
It's just, yeah, it's very interesting.
There's a lot of what I like to call Spielberg moments in this movie, and by that I mean moments of like odd calm or like odd like I don't even know how to explain it. Like, yeah, like brief respite from the mayhem, especially in this movie.
Yeah.
Like when they're in the church, or when Matt Damon is telling the story about like the girl in the farmhouse, or like anything like that, where they're having these dialogue with each other, or just conversations or little like quips and stuff with each other. Like contrast such heavily with like
Yeah, the whole movie
so
is,
heavily
like,
with just the mayhem.
a
and
series of like
chaos.
peaks and valleys. It's like, all right, well, it starts off like somewhat slow with like the cemetery like scene, and then it flashes up or flashes back, and then they're like starting D-Day, and then it's like, okay, let's go back to like talk about like Ryan's mother, and then like you just know like when they go back, like it just builds and builds and builds, and then just like hits the point where they like the battle just erupts and things happen, and then it slows down again, but you know it's gonna like hit up again, and it's
Yeah.
it does that a lot.
Not
It's
really a
nice.
moment is wasted.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, and every time it flares up again, it's almost more. I mean, it's
feel
hard
like-
to top the intensity of that first scene.
Yeah,
but
that's a
you
good start.
almost feel like dread when you flash back, or when you like realize that they're getting into another hairy situation, where you're just like, oh man, not again.
I feel like they
this is gonna be
need
so
to have like the
stressful.
calm moments, otherwise I would have like an actual panic attack during that movie, because it's so stressful like watching them like fight and like get into confrontations there, and but like
The sound
when they stop and
design.
slow down, you're just like, okay, they made it through another one.
Yeah.
I have to say that that's not as stressful for me probably as it is for you guys. I'm not saying there's any particular reason that I'm better than you. No, I'm just kidding.
You're a stronger man than I am.
No, it's just
I'm weak.
Like, I don't know. I feel like things that are more stressful to me are like more kind of relatable situations. To me, this is like I'm so divorced from it. Like, it's horrible to watch, but like we've desensitized ourselves so much to this type of thing,
Yeah.
and like made it so much like this is never going to actually affect us, that like looking at it is not, it doesn't immediately hit me in the same way that it would be if it were like real. I don't know.
I get that.
I think for me, like, it depends on the movie and kind of like the media, like the game or whatever. But if it does a good job of setting it up and kind of making you like feel in the moment, it's very easy for me to just immerse myself in it. And because nothing like ridiculous, like they don't ever like slip on the blood and accidentally don't kill a Nazi because the story like dictates that. Like everything is like very realistic, very down to earth, and like gritty, and like it makes sense. And so it's easy for me to be like, okay, yeah, I can like feel like I'm there with these people right now. I'm immersed in it, and like it doesn't break that immersion throughout the movie.
Yeah.
I mean,
It makes it easier for me to connect with that.
yeah, I mean, right off the bat, when there's just, the movie feels so intimate, even though it is like about this large scale war and everything. There's so many moments where you just feel like you're like almost uncomfortably close to what's going on, like especially in the beginning when they're in the boats, and like I'm sure it was just a dude with a handheld camera just like crammed in this boat with like 50 people or whatever, like just all sitting next to each other. And then the doors open up and like people just get gunned down. It cuts to a scene, like there's so many cool shots, even though it's awful to look at, like the scene right behind the gunner up in the bunker, and you just see the belt just feeding into the gun, and just people are getting mowed down on the beach.
Very
like
intense.
it's just like really hard to watch, but like you want it to end, and it does feel like it goes on for hours and it's super stressful. But then for me at least, I kind of don't want it to end, because it's just a marvel of like
You're a
technical
bloodthirsty psychopath.
it's like a marvel of like technical wizardry and like movie making magic of just, I don't know how they made it look so perfect, but it just looks unbelievable.
It's really cool looking.
I think the most tense moments to me were on the stairwell when he wouldn't go up the stairs. 'Cause
Oh man, it's a classic Spielberg moment.
it's
also.
really well done. And then the other thing was when one of their own was like dying and he was like bleeding out and he was like crying to his mom. Like that was tough. That was pretty tough.
That's hard because they just don't shy away. Like
Where they
they're
gave
just
him the
so
morphine.
close.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
They're just like so close to it, and like they don't like back away from it or like hide it. Like it's just, the movie is like super graphic. Like
It
we were
is.
joking about the R rating because it's like this is intense, realistic, like
prolonged
prolonged violence with
Yeah.
like 4 different adjectives describing the violence. It's like it can't be that bad. I wasn't prepared because it's actually very like visceral.
I was prepared.
It's, man, yeah, there's
Yeah,
very emotional movie.
it is. It's one of my favorite movies we've watched so far, I'd say. It's definitely up there with Apocalypse Now for me.
Yeah,
that might say something about me as a person, that I enjoy these terrible war movies.
I might say this is the best movie we've watched so far.
I think this one makes... So I was going to say, how does this compare to Apocalypse Now? Because Apocalypse Now was another movie that was on our list that we watched, and I wasn't a huge fan of it, but the other two gentlemen here were very big fans of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that movie. So what did you
guys...
I like Apocalypse Now more because I like the...
So you're a sick, twisted... Bah!
Well, I appreciate...
Because you're mentally unhinged.
Yes, I appreciate the dark, like, tone of that movie, and, like, the... like different take, like it Saving Private Ryan is like a great film, but it has like the story is like a feel good story. Like at the end, everyone, it's like the ending shot is like the
yeah.
Yes, exactly, like that's like the difference. That
I'm glad that you
said
that
before.
Because now it's very clear.
Yeah, when we discuss like Apocalypse Now, like I like it when things don't go right. I like it when the director is like, I can make this not a good film. Like I can make this bad and make people feel something.
You would love No Country for Old Men.
Probably. Like I want to feel something in a movie. And if it makes me feel happy, like I said, I think I said this last time. If it makes me feel happy, I like it. If it makes me feel like bad, like if it makes me feel any sort of emotion like that strongly, like that's a great film to me. And Apocalypse Now did that, I think, more than this one did.
It's hard for me to compare them directly. I mean, it's easy
please.
It's easy to compare them because they are both war movies. It's hard for me to do it, therefore I will. They're both war movies, so you could very easily just be like, hey, they're both have people shooting guns in the U.S. military, and they're both the same. But I think Apocalypse Now is much more like hyper realized. Like it's very exaggerated and not the movie itself isn't really, but especially compared to Saving Private Ryan, like everything is very heightened. There's like super saturated colors and like weird visuals and like a dreamlike trance that it puts you in, almost, where you're just kind of like just floating through just mayhem and like really dark themes. I mean,
like I said, like Saving Private Ryan is like way more realistic and like documentary like when you're watching it. It's not, it doesn't feel like you're watching a ridiculous like action movie.
Yeah,
it feels like you're watching a war like film.
Yeah,
there's stylized elements, like
there are
some here and there. There's some stylized.
But I mean, the way like the fighting is portrayed is not like, oh, look at these sick like soldiers going in there, but they're like invincible soldiers, they're gonna kill people. It's just like, oh, this like this is a fight to the death, and like it's like, very like stressful and intense.
At the very least, it balances it quite well. Like
I don't know, and they're both technically they're both incredibly impressive. Like especially knowing that when and how Apocalypse Now was filmed.
I think I appreciate like the visual style of Apocalypse Now more. I like the shots and the cleanness of the shots because it doesn't have a disgusting film grain over the whole movie.
The film grain is cool.
I don't take film grain out.
I like the film grain.
Erase film grain from film everywhere. I want it crisp. I want
it
crisp.
It didn't affect me.
I want it crisp like the Kingdom Hearts 2.8 opening cutscene.
Yeah, I just don't like it.
Nothing will match the crispness for that.
I don't see the purpose of film grain. Like, why not have the picture be as like clear and crisp as possible? What does it add to
something like a certain level of like grit or like, I don't even know exactly how to describe it.
People like
it makes it feel
stuff.
and look different in a way that serves, especially Saving Private Ryan. Like, I don't think they shoot like the film is shot and shows all this like grotesque, just awe-inspiring violence where you're just kind of like in disbelief that any of this stuff is happening, but they don't want you to feel, I don't know, they don't want it to be super like clear, I guess.
Want it to be like the Star Wars prequels.
Yeah, they don't want it to. They want it to feel like dirty and like gritty, and they do that with like. I think what they did on the movie was I was looking at some IMDb trivia. It said that
flicked some dust on the camera and.
Yeah, well, maybe. I mean, they had blood on the camera in one part, which was kind of cool. But they
real. I
think they desaturated the colors in the movie by 20%. Or like some percentage where when it was played on TV, I guess, a bunch of people called in to this like cable provider and said that their cable was going out or like something was wrong with their like signal or something because the colors looked so like muted.
This is before we had HDR. Couldn't even tell them
apparently.
The colors were just so vivid.
Yeah, I don't know. Like they definitely did. There was a lot of intentional things they did with the way the film was like the colors and like.
I mean,
it serves the movie more than.
I guess to me it seems
Yeah.
like a unnecessary addition. Like I don't. Anytime film grain is on there, it just detracts for me because it's noticeable to me, and I just don't see the purpose of it. But the movie is still a fantastic film, regardless of the grain.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If I had
love
to
that
compare
movie,
it to Apocalypse Now, I'd say that we've kind of already said that Apocalypse Now kind of tries to me especially, it tries to kind of be as depressing as possible in each given scenario. It's trying to be as like, hey, isn't this the worst possible scenario for these guys, like in every single scene?
Yeah.
And this one is like, okay, we have a goal, like we're working towards it. There's many setbacks, there's things that are horrible, but at the end of the day, like we have a goal and we're going to get there by the end, and then at the end they get there.
Yeah.
So that's what I like in a movie more than like, all right, here's this black art piece that's like,
That's fair.
it's going to make you feel
Yeah,
a
that
little bad,
definitely-
or mostly bad, more bad than good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that sums it up, don't you guys think?
I think that's pretty good.
I would say so. Should we start rating these movies? Like give a rating of.
Sure.
Only you can.
Okay.
I give this movie 3 Ryans out of 4.
3 Ryans out of 4.
On a 4 scale.
Okay, well I'll
1
do
through
different
4.
scales. I'm gonna give this.
Oh, I like that.
I'm gonna give this.
That's gonna always be your scale, Ryan's out of 4. No.
That's I'll do it.
I'm gonna give this an. I wanna say this is almost a perfect movie to me.
You can say whatever you want.
Yeah, I'm gonna
What's
give
the
it.
scale?
I'm gonna give it.
An almost perfect out of perfect.
I'm gonna give it 10 bussies out of 10.
That's a perfect bussy.
Yeah, it's a nice bussy.
When you said it was like kind of perfect, I thought of how like some people think of Shawshank Redemption as kind of like a perfect movie. I think this movie kind of echoes Shawshank Redemption in that it was like a really well done movie from start to finish. The pacing was like really good, and like all the characters you felt for. And
Yeah.
there's kind of like a narrator. There's a little bit of narration going on in both of them. So yeah, I think this movie was really good. I'm gonna do the binary scale, 0 or 1. This is a 1.
Okay. I thought you were going to say it's 1 Shawshank Redemption out of 2.
Not bad.
2 Shawshank Redemptions out of 3.
Pretty
2 Shaws. I'm gonna give this 2 Shaws out of 1 Shank.
Alright, and so now we're going to move on to our last topics, which are male rompers. No?
No.
What about
We're gonna-
Report of the Week's
I mean,
grotesque fingers?
honestly, would you guys wear a male romper?
No.
I would
wear a
wear.
jumpsuit.
I would wear a male romper.
I guess I don't actually, like, I know what a romper is, but I don't know really what it looks like, you know?
I'm gonna say right now that I'm
We could bring it up.
gonna buy a male romper and I'm gonna wear it.
Okay.
I'm looking.
And there's
for
nothing anyone can do to stop me. Damn it!
Please send in messages telling Dane not to wear the romper.
You can tell me
please. We
whatever
don't-
you want. It won't stop me.
It's for his own good.
It won't stop me.
Alright, you're wearing the romper next
I'm wearing the
episode.
romper.
Pass this over to the boy. So I'm showing Jordan a picture or some pictures of male rompers.
I'm
here.
currently looking at oh, this isn't... Oh,
It's like short shorts connected to like a.
yeah. Hey, actually, this
Tank
third
top.
one here that has, like, the flower design, not
I
awful.
don't know what it is.
It's not that bad.
Wait, what? Let me see.
I can't move my body.
Oh yeah, that's. I would wear that. I would rock that.
Like, there's a couple on there where the shorts are, like, way too short. I wouldn't rock them, but, like, those shorts, like, a little bit above the knee,
That one has like
that's
long
fashionable.
sleeves. Yeah. I mean, that one just looks like shorts on a long sleeve shirt. So
So that's pretty dope.
that's why it's good.
So male rompers are a yes. All right.
All right. I actually looked up.
I can't.
This is a classic theme. I looked up Guy Fieri's
Film credits.
filmography. He, I believe, appeared in a cameo in the movie The Interview. Did you guys see that?
I hadn't seen that.
Oh, you know what? I think it's just in the beginning of the interview, they show a bunch of scenes of like James Franco's character on talk shows and different shows. I'm pretty sure it's just a brief clip of him on like a Guy Fieri like Food Network style show.
Probably.
Because I know they show. I think they show him on Ellen. Oh, what was it? I think I'm pretty sure they show him on Ellen or some show with like Eminem or
I
something
think
like
he
that.
has his own show.
Yeah, it's diners, drives, and
Interviews.
Or James Franco
And
has his
interviews.
own show.
dives, diners, and drive-ins.
He was also the pizza guy on Phineas and Ferb, but
Yeah, I mean,
I
that's
don't think anyone has seen it.
Okay.
Never say anything
no one
bad
even
about
knows.
Phineas
Well,
and Ferb
fuck
because
Phineas
it
and
was
Ferb. fucking
so our
hate
next
Phineas and
topic.
Ferb.
It's a good show. Our next topic
Thank
was we're gonna get into some feedback that we got.
Oh, good.
So I'm pulling up some stuff here.
I do
Wait,
have the email pulled up.
Are we doing emails right now?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, was there something else?
Hang on, I'm gonna feign like I don't know that we have an email this week. But this
As
time,
you do every time.
I actually read the email beforehand.
Should we read the like personalized portions of the email?
Yes.
Or should we just?
Yeah.
If you sent,
I mean, all right.
we're gonna say it right. I mean, do we need to?
What do you mean?
They're kind of like directly to us.
That's
like,
fine.
That's
The viewers can.
You know what? We're gonna do it. This
think
is
we
a
should.
warning. If you send an email in, we're not gonna not read any of it. Okay? We're reading all of it
I'm
when you
not
send
gonna
it
say
in.
that.
I mean, I'm gonna say that because I'm not weak.
We're also gonna read out the full email address and docs.
No.
Okay,
If they say their name,
I'm gonna
say
I'll
it.
read this one. This is fan mail from one of our good friends, Sydney. Sydney, if you're out there and you're listening, I
if you're out
appreciate
there,
you.
If you're
I hope
still out
I
there.
hope you're listening because judging by this, you really like the podcast, and I value your friendship. And if you don't listen to this, we'll never be friends again. Thank you.
that's a bold claim.
It's a threat. No,
But go
it's-
on, read the email.
It's not true. Okay, here we go. Dearest Dane, Jordan, and Coulter. First off, I love the podcast. You guys are absolutely hilarious and make my trek into indentured servitude, my commute to work, that much better.
I
good bit.
feel that because I listen to this on my way to work as
There
well.
you go. Dane, you definitely forgot.
same podcast.
This is in reference to when we were talking about our school stories last week. She says, Dane, you definitely forgot about the time you got your soda confiscated from your favorite English teacher senior year. Just another time you refused to cooperate and made a scene, which I always find to be extremely entertaining. Very quick spark notes on this. Basically what happened is I came into class with a McDonald's cup full of soda at my desk, and the teacher wasn't having it, so she picked up and she threw it in the trash. And I'm pretty sure I made some kind of quip or some kind of sarcastic remark about it, and then bitched about it the entire class to Sydney. And that's why she was bringing it up.
Fuck authority.
Yeah. Fuck the man. Fuck the government.
Look at me. I'm a 17-year-old kid.
I didn't fuck Wayne.
you,
I didn't
fuck my
fuck
cup.
Drake. Thank you.
Nice.
If you take
Jordan.
my McDonald's cup, fuck you.
Jordan, I'm sorry that you got blamed for Dane, Trent, and me never shutting the fuck up in class. Hashtag sorry not sorry.
Oh, okay. So you just went back on it, and that's fine.
Yeah, so this was... this was in reference to last week when we were talking about how you always got blamed for
And I did.
our shenanigans in class. And I think she got it all wrong. You were the bad influence on us. All right. Coulter.
I'm pure and innocent. I didn't commit any crimes.
Coulter, I'm kind of bummed that I never got to know you during our younger years, but I don't think you could say the same for me. I was and still am a piece of shit. Sydney, I don't appreciate the self-deprecation here. Thank you.
But I do appreciate the honesty. That's
Yeah.
very kind of you to say that about yourself and not hold anything back. So good on you.
School of Rock is one of my all-time favorites, though, so that's cool. So you guys share something in common there.
Mm-hmm. If only one thing.
But that
School
one thing
of
is
Rock.
enough because School of Rock is awesome.
It is.
That's all right.
Now she goes on to say, I've recommended the podcast to family and friends, so now my sister and my dog listen. I actually won't shut the fuck up about how great I think it is, and I've possibly begun to turn people away from listening. Whoops. Even though I don't play video games other than Animal Crossing, Pokemon, and Wii Sports, which are all great.
Those are all video games.
They are. Animal Crossing is awesome.
Pokemon.
And am largely too emotionally unstable to watch movies. I still get a lot of value from the podcast. If you guys ever have guests, I'd love to come on, just because I'm vain and I want people to think I'm cool enough to be on a podcast.
That is something you can put on your resume.
Yeah.
Say, hey, I am on a podcast.
Sydney,
Here.
you're welcome anytime as long as you don't put yourself down because it makes me feel bad.
Yeah.
After we get a microphone for you
Yeah, if...
and any guest we could have.
Yeah.
We could share it.
We could... Yeah. No.
No.
Okay.
Keep up the good work, guys. You're doing great. Love, Sydney. P.S. If you don't cry during Saving Private Ryan, you're soulless. We're all soulless.
I think that's been established. If I cry during any movie, it's got to be a damn fine film.
I cried at the end of Warrior.
I cried at the end of Warrior because, oh man, we should put
That's
Warrior on
a
this list.
really sad movie,
It's
dude.
a great movie. It's not sad. It was just, it's so touching. There's their brotherly love.
That last scene is very sad, and the music that plays.
A Tale of Brothers never gets old. I'll
Good
tell you that.
stuff. Good stuff.
I cried. I didn't cry. I might have been choked up a little bit during Your Name. It was very touching.
Your Name was a great film.
Their
I
romance.
Anime film, of course.
Yeah.
So touching.
I definitely teared up. I think the only time
But I've never cried, so.
The only time I've cried recently was at the one particular segment in
You looked in
Diners,
the mirror.
Diners, Drives.
When Guy Fieri looked at you, it's like
There was this hot dog, like
And
a chili
it
dog
made you tear
actually,
up.
and it was just so beautiful. And seeing Guy's passion just fill the screen and light up
Yeah.
my living room, my dankly lit living room with that chili dog and just his frosted tips just glistening in the sun.
I could definitely cry over a good hot dog. A good hot dog, that's a good meal.
A good
right
old
there.
foot long.
A foot longer.
Foot longer.
Guys, I have a crush on Guy Fieri.
Do you, fam? Do you?
Do you, fam? Do you? Is he a bear?
I feel like he might almost be
He
one.
doesn't. I feel like he doesn't fit the.
He's
mold.
on like the border
Yeah.
of bearhood.
Or maybe he's just like a.
I don't.
old
The frosted
fat
tips.
guy.
Yeah,
Maybe he's just a very unique species of bear.
yeah. He's a polar.
Yeah,
he's
like
a polar bear.
exotic
Guy
He's,
bear.
Fieri.
he's an endangered
So sorry.
bear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Guy Fieri. Is that what you said? That's
Yes, I
not
did, and I
good.
apologize.
Berry. Guy Berry.
Where's is
Now
this
that
comment?
now that we've officially talked about bears on this podcast, that's amazing. Thank you.
Well, I mean, you. Okay, Coulter brought it up.
It was bound to happen eventually.
Can we
fine.
move on to the Facebook?
Yeah.
Question
So
that we
quickly, there's a quick question here on Facebook from a certain. Who is it from, Dane?
It's from me mama.
Oh, that's nice.
I didn't want to dox you. So I went ahead
It's from my mom. Her name is Mom.
Mom LaPointe.
She'll be
Mom
named
LaPointe.
Thanks, Mama LaPointe.
Yeah.
Appreciate your question.
So she says, comment from your mama. If each of you could learn another language, which one would you choose and why? So just real quick. I think I would probably just choose... so
Quickly.
it's hard to say because... okay, I'm just going to go with Japanese at this point in my
Wow,
life.
seriously?
Because honestly, I don't want to travel anywhere, but the only like place outside of America I want to travel to is Japan. So
I mean, yeah. Dane, what about you?
Japanese was the first thing that came to mind, but recently in my line of work, I get a lot of international customers. I've been talking to a lot of people from Brazil, a lot of people from like France and like Germany, and so I'd probably say one
Are
of
there
those.
any other nations you'd like to call out? England.
Yeah, some Brits come
Okay.
roll through.
Well,
but,
learn English and then come back to us.
Yeah, but I would probably say I kind of want to. I think Portuguese would be fun.
All right. Portuguese is a
It's
nice sounding language.
It sounds very beautiful. There's something that like there's an aspect of like challenge to it because I've heard it's very difficult language to grasp and speak properly and well. But I think that could be cool. But Japanese would always be fun.
Yeah.
I think, or I guess the easy thing to say would probably just be I'd like to be more fluent in Spanish because I feel like that would come in handy a lot.
That's good. I think I would I don't want to be the common like
You don't wanna
theme
be
here,
basic.
but Japanese as well, strictly so I don't have to read subtitles anymore in anime.
Wow.
Oh yeah! Wow.
But
That would
yeah,
be handy, actually.
besides that, maybe like Russian. I think that would be pretty cool.
That could be interesting.
Mostly so when
You're
we
playing.
get taken over by our Russian overlords, I can.
So when you're playing Plunk
Suck
Bat,
up.
you can
Yeah.
translate the graffiti on the walls
Yeah.
and the random villages.
Yeah. So thanks, Mama LaPointe, for
Yep.
sending that one in. That's fun.
Mom, what language would you like to learn? You already know Spanish. What next?
What
would you
next,
like to
you
learn
say?
programming language?
Well, such as Python or what is it? C-SPAN.
C-SPAN.
Yes, C-SPAN.
That's the one.
That's a coding language.
While we're speaking of
C-SPAN.
programming and the interwebs, where can we find you, Dane?
Well, that was a really good transition.
Thanks.
I think Coulter's going to be the permanent host of the podcast now.
It's up to you guys. What do you guys think?
Come on. Where can people find you?
I honestly forgot what we were saying for a minute
Where?
there, but are you gonna answer?
We're rewinding. Play this in reverse.
Dane, where can we find you on the internet? Answer now.
What? Oh, Twitter, I guess. Lane to Point.
Are you
Jesus
having a
Christ.
stroke? What's happening?
Was there a glitch in the Matrix?
Sorry, I briefly woke up from the simulation that we're all in. No, I was thinking about Guy Fieri, honestly.
All right.
Yeah. If you want to find me physically, I'll probably be in my room watching diners, drive-ins, and dives. But
diners, dashes, and doors.
diners, dashes, and dormans.
3Ds.
In 3D, director's cut. No, Twitter, Lane to Point. That's really the main one. Instagram, Lane to Point. I'll be on the Not So Subtle Instagram also. Mm-hmm. That's about it.
What about you, Jorb?
You can find me on Twitter as well at @thekillamilla. It's a THA.
Yeah.
It's all A's. You'll get
I was
it.
actually
You know me.
gonna say that to you before because in the last podcast I think you just said the Killamilla with no.
Because I've said it in the first two. Everyone here is listening to all of them. You know how to spell it.
can't
Look me
assume.
up. I don't listen. The Killamilla. I'm not gonna spell it out anymore. You guys are smart. You'll figure it out.
If you're
Find my
starting on the
Instagram
third
like that.
episode, fuck off.
Yeah, what's
okay?
wrong with you? Actually, that's not
Listen.
true, 'cause-
That's not one of
Right,
these
listen.
episodes is gonna be like the first one that pops off,
Yeah.
and then that'll be everybody's
Yeah,
first
that's
episode.
true. But anyways, the
That's
Killamilla,
true.
Twitter, Instagram, most gaming websites, networks, if you want to do that. Facebook, I'm Jordan Miller. And on Tumblr, if you like anime and stuff like that, I do.
Anime.
Tenzo-Taicho. You're smart, you'll find it.
Subtle is
You're
spelled
giving-
SUBTLE.
Coulter, where can people find
Yeah, so
you?
you can find me at Coulter Potter, COLTERPOTTER, and
gonna have to
that's
slow that
Twitter and
down.
Instagram. Yeah. So for our
where can people
group,
find us?
Yeah, our group accounts is pretty much It's Not So Subtle on every different social media. We have an email address. Please email us, and we will read it on the podcast and probably just say whatever you say. Like nothing.
Yeah.
You don't put anything in there that you don't want us to read.
If you don't want to be named, you should probably put like
that.
anonymous or something, or say, "Hey, don't say my name."
Yeah.
If there's something you don't want us to say, just say it.
We
Just
won't
write
say
it in
that
there.
part. Anything you don't want us to say, put in parentheses.
Yeah. Or like highlight it, maybe put it italicized. Do something fun with
that'll
it.
work.
Write it backwards, so we have to like really like look hard to figure it out.
Write it in one of the languages we want to learn,
Yeah.
so that we have to
Send it in
So
Cyrillic.
that we must learn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Morse code.
So we've actually been putting up Outlast 2 Let's Play gameplays each day this week. We're going strong.
What episode are you up to on that?
So today, well, it's going to be different. Like the day we actually
Oh,
record
that's
this,
true, yeah.
it'll be I think 8 on the day we release this.
Cool.
Either 7 or 8. So yeah, definitely watch episode 6. 6 is I think the funniest one.
Am I, as of this
You're in
recording,
8,
am
I
I
think.
in one of these?
You're in 8, 9, 10, I believe.
Cool. Watch 8, 9, 10.
You show up like in an earlier one, but
Yeah,
you don't actually.
I ghosted appearance that one.
Yeah, so that's really cool. Tell me if you guys any feedback on that would be really good. I don't know if we're gonna keep like posting a ton of video content, like spamming your guys's or like gaming content, spamming your guys's inboxes or whatever. Any feedback would be good. If one person says they don't like it, I'll change everything.
If you want us to play something, we're not gonna override Outlast 2, but if you want us to play something, let us know. Maybe we'll do it on the next.
Please
Let's
give us
Play.
game suggestions.
You know, I'm just gonna go out and say maybe we should play BioShock because you
BioShock?
played it.
Perhaps.
That's a really good game. That could be
That's
cool to
not
see your reactions live.
Yeah.
Is it available on PS4?
Yes,
Yes,
it is.
Remastered.
The BioShock collection 1, 2, and Infinite actually are
If you
available.
guys donate, we can buy them.
Donate, just slip us some cash.
We're gonna figure out maybe soon some ways that you can give us money if you want. But that hasn't been discussed at all, so I'm just throwing that in there.
It'll be.
We're thinking about, it would be cool to have merch. It would be cool to have, stuff that
You guys have
people can
seen our
purchase.
logo. It's pretty sick.
It's pretty
I want a
sick.
shirt of that.
I'm gonna shout out Dane because he designed that.
That's true.
That's one of the
That's
main. That's one of the only things Dane brings to the table.
While we're shouting people out,
I disappoint just about everyone in my life.
Mostly, yes.
With every aspect of everything, really, including just my general appearance, my attitude, personality. But I did make that logo, so
be proud of that.
You did it, bud.
So-
You made it.
I want to shout you out for producing the podcast.
Oh.
Really appreciate it.
yeah, I
Thanks.
Wouldn't be
do
here without
actually. Yeah, I do actually want to say Coulter's put in a lot of work, editing the podcast, the Let's Plays, managing the website. He's done a lot.
Told myself I wasn't gonna cry, but
Coulter, I appreciate your hard work.
He
But
does have a
Thank you,
soul.
bud. Yeah. Yeah. I'm working
It's-
hard for y'all. I
yeah.
want it to.
For all you.
We're committed to this, guys. So yeah, if you like it, subscribe, like the videos, subscribe
Smash
to
that
both-
motherfucking like button.
smash that motherfucker, and
Write reviews on iTunes, please.
yes,
Yeah.
rate us and review us on iTunes. Actually, do that.
Rate,
If you're-
comment, subscribe to Kasim G now.
Yeah, if you're listening to this or watching this, please do either like or subscribe or review, depending on where you're doing that. So
Do
yeah,
something.
Do it right now. If
Some form of engagement.
you're hearing this right now, you better be doing it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Any
right.
last words?
Wait, we need to pick a movie.
Oh my god!
Shit. Oh my shit.
Okay, someone grab it. I think
Where
it's on
is
the
it?
ground right
No.
here. We need to do that quick.
Coulter.
Dude, we almost forgot.
Oh my god. If we didn't know.
I'd like to shout out Jordan for keeping us on topic and remembering things.
I'd like to shout out Coulter for bringing the bag the first time when he forgot his laptop and mic. And thank you.
Dane, I believe it. Wait, it's Coulter's turn, isn't it? Didn't you pick Saving Private Ryan?
Ah, yeah, I did.
Or is it my
Alright.
turn?
This is gonna be the quickest movie
Wait.
pick out of the bag
Hold
so
on.
far.
No, you gotta do some fanfare. There's gotta be some.
I mean, there's gonna be some because I have to
tension.
separate the films.
Oh, I was gonna say right now. I feel like I haven't picked a movie in a while. I don't know if we skipped me or not.
It's
but
Jordan.
Is it?
I think it might be.
I don't know. Wait, what was the movie before this one?
Dazed and Confused.
Yeah, I picked that.
Oh, so it is me. Oh boy.
Why do we never do the right person?
Because that would be.
Why do we
silly.
never let the right one in?
Is that a movie on this list?
No, I mean we maybe.
All right, here we go. I'm just
There's-
gonna rip the Band-Aid. I got it.
How are we gonna follow Saving Private Ryan, man?
We're gonna follow it with
Oh no.
Scanners.
Ooh.
Scanners.
Okay.
That's a movie that I've heard of.
It
I
is a
don't know
movie.
anything about it.
I know nothing about it.
Why is it on here? None of us know what it is.
Because we've heard of the name Scanners before.
Yeah.
Actually, this came from me thinking that Scanners was actually a Scanner Darkly.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jordan. A Scanner Darkly is not the movie I was thinking of, but it is on the list.
This is a 1981 film directed by David Cronenberg. It says, a scientist sends a man with extraordinary psychic powers to hunt others like him.
All right, that sounds pretty cool.
It's a sci-fi
Yeah.
starring...
I think it all kind of depends on how it's executed for me. That premise didn't really.
Yeah, I mean,
It's pretty vague.
Yeah, it is kind of vague. It says, Daryl Revok is the most powerful of all the scanners and is the head of the underground scanner movement for world domination. Scanners have great psychic power, strong enough to control minds. They can inflict enormous pain or damage on their victims. Dr. Paul Ruth finds a scanner that Revok hasn't and converts him to their cause to destroy the underground movement.
Alright.
There's something that sounds like... I'm intrigued by that premise.
I feel like it's a highly rated film.
It is.
Cool.
Yeah.
All
David
right.
Cronenberg is supposed to be a real creepy dude.
I've heard.
It's a visionary. So
Please
I'm
watch
curious.
Scanners. Bye next.
Yeah, if you want to watch Scanners, go ahead and do it. Otherwise,
We're spoiling the
we're
hell
gonna
out
spoil it and tell you whether or not you should watch it or not.
of it. It's true.
All right, guys,
Fair.
that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for listening or watching, and goodbye.
Thank you for
This is
joining
gonna
us.
be the first video where it actually has video for the entire thing.
Oh shit, you're right.
Unless it cuts off right now.
Unless it cuts off right now.
Thank you for joining us
let's
on
end
another
this.
episode of Diners, Dive-Ins, and Drives.
Thank you, lovely listeners.